interesting when you say, how do you stay close to the human? It's pretty simple, and we don't have to make it more complicated than that. But
it's Juanita Coley, the CEO and founder of Solid Rock Consulting, affectionately known as the Contact Center Whisperer. I'm at Calabrio's C3 event with the amazing, epic Dillon Nugent, CMO here. Dillon, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. I've been seeing you like doing all the running, all the things, meeting with all the customers and partners, everything. So thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and answer a couple quick questions. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So first question I have for you, can you tell me what some of the trends are that you're seeing right now in the industry and how Calabrio's uniquely positioned for those?
Yes, absolutely. So we've talked a lot about it at the conference. It's the automation, it's the AI. Where does that come from? It comes from our customers' needs changing, right? So they're finding new ways of meeting their customers where they're at. There are more ways to get in touch. I think the bar is higher for what customers expect from the brand. Loyalty is, fleeting and is based on experience. And I think that now there are more ways to have experiences with brands. There's more knobs to keep turning. There's more things to keep up with. So I think building AI and automation into a contact center is part of meeting those needs. However, we're talking a lot about how you do that thoughtfully, how you do that in a way that makes sense. Because now that we've said this, the hype around AI has kind of died down. It's here to stay. It's still growing, but I think the fear has subsided a bit and people are understanding, how do I actually thoughtfully integrate that into my organization with my people, with my humans, in a way that makes sense. And so we talk a lot here about how are we uniquely positioned as, we're doing that thinking for you and building that into our solutions in a way that's thoughtful and human. At Calabrio, we do a lot and pride ourselves around looking at everything through the lens of the agent. How is this going to impact that agent and how they're going to work better and provide better customer experience? So I think that's how we're uniquely positioned.
I love that. What I specifically love is when you said that you do everything through the lens of the agent. I think that that's super cool, right? Because you are really thinking about things from how do I make this easier for the agent? Because if I make this easier for the agent, it'll be easier for the supervisor, it'll be easier for operations, it'll be easier for the customer, so forth and so on. So I think that that's really unique and a really unique point of difference in how you Calabrio's approach, So on that same vein, right? And when we think about how do you balance, because you are a company, right? And you're a technology company, how do you balance the technology with that human, keeping that human element involved?
Well, from a marketing perspective, but also from just a product perspective, I think we always try to remember who's on the other end. It's a human, right? So all the technology we build or use is to help a human experience at the end of the day. And it's a human delivering it to a human. Sure, we have more and more tools and software to help take some of those tasks off of the human and be able to focus on more complex things. But I mean, really, it's not a machine talking to a machine. This is, at the end of the day, we are creating a human experience for your customer. So how do we do that is we always remember to keep that that human experience alive and think about the human that's actually going to use these tools and the human that's going to be on the other end of this experience as well. How's that going to feel? I think that's a struggle a lot of companies are trying to figure out with bots and like as they automate, is it providing a good experience? I mean, sure, it might be automating, it might be helping to take a lot of the administrative things off of people's plates, but how is it on the other end? And I think there's a lot of trial and error happening right now with that. And there's a lot of the technologies getting better and better over time. But I think that's where a lot of customers are trying to really test and learn constantly. And they need partners. They need the partners that are building the software and the technology to do that alongside with them and understand. And so the best thing we can do is listen to our customers around what they're learning and experiencing so we can go build it back in our products to make them better.
I absolutely love that you said that because you're not only focusing on the customer experience or the employee experience. What you said so perfectly well, I hope y'all caught this, is the human experience, right? You're focusing on everything that we do. How does that impact the human experience? Regardless of the angle we're coming from, right? So many times we put things in their bucket, their silos around customer experience or employee experience, or, oh, that's this experience. When what we're really talking about at the end of the day is a human experience. And so I love how you articulated that. So on that vein, in that same train of thought, what do you view as next for Calabrio in being strategic and keeping that human, while you're still having to keep up with pace around technology and stay technology forward thinking? How do we still keep that human element to help our customers continue to go where they need to go?
I mean, I think the number one way is like here we are at C3, but it's daily talking to our customers, understanding what is the experience like, what's the feedback you're getting, you know, how are customer satisfaction scores going up or being affected, how are the people in your organization adapting to this, right? So while we might not be on the ground doing all the training of an operations and a contact center, I mean, the implementation and how we train the customers we work with, but then the feedback we get.
Yes.
So it's that, you know, expectation that you're not going to nail it the first time, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to get learning and make it better and better, right? That's the whole idea of like machine learning in the first place, right? You teach it more and more how to be effective. So I think always talking to your customer, getting close to the users and understanding what they're hearing back, what their experience is, that can always make what we do better. And it's iterative.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we're done and we're, you know, that's it. And it, you know, I think we've got to constantly be looking at it. Because again, like I said in the beginning, the needs of the customer are always changing and they're going to keep changing. Right? So their expectations, there's been a lot of interesting research around how generations have different expectation, right? The younger generation, they want to just talk, they want the bot, right? For certain things, or they want the human, like it's very interesting, the trust level with technology, that's going to continue to change. We're going to get more and more familiar with a lot of the things that are new to us now. So I think this is a really interesting time because the prior year was about the big AI craze. And it was like almost like a huge hype cycle. Now I think we're settling in to think about the application and the benefits and how we adjust and adapt and make it, you know, useful. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's there for.
I love that. I love that. So as we're thinking about how, you know, like you said, prior we were thinking a lot about AI and just really kind of getting used to it. Now we're in this phase of, okay, how we're making it practical, how we bringing in those keeping human front and center. I love the point that you mentioned around as the business change, so should the technology be evolving, so should the customer process, the agent process is going to be evolving. And that's one of your strategies for really kind of staying front and center, how you're going to be serving your customer. So I think that's super key and super important because again, yesterday's success is not today's success. Yesterday's need is not going to be today's need. What got you here won't be the thing that propel you into the future. And so I think that that's super important that you guys have really honed in on how do we get feedback constantly from what our customers are doing and what they're needing to best serve. And how do we bring the technology along the way in doing that. So
it's interesting when you say, how do you stay close to the human? You talk to the human,
right?
You just you ask questions and you listen.
You
know, and I think that's really it's pretty simple, right? And we don't have to make it more complicated than that. But how do we make sure we're always staying close? We do it often. We're close to our customers. We're asking the right questions.
That's the soundbite right there, right? How do you stay close to the humans? How do you keep it human? You talk to humans. That's it. That's it. Mic drop. Thank you so much, Dillon, for taking the time to interview with me. I really, really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the rest of the sessions. I'm going to be hopping in them. Is there any session I should top in that you're like, you got to check this one out?
Gosh, there's been so many good ones.
There's so many good ones.
Let me think. Well, our roadmap session will be a great one just to hear about what's coming, go a little bit deeper on things. That's today. There's a lot around how our customers are using bots. Talk about, you know, AI automation. A lot of bots are getting better and better, but how are the customers we have that are using it well and finding a lot of success? What are they doing right? Because there's a learning curve. And so I think those would be great to sit in.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I hope that this interview was helpful for you. Again, if you have any Calabrio needs, you already know what to do. Click the link below. I'm sure it's somewhere around here and connect and see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.